This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. I had to wait a night to get the double finger snap underway, but oh my goodness, there's the first one of the season. A 5-2 victory over top of the Vancouver Canucks in game number 2, the back half of the back-to-back, and that streak thingy the Oilers have going here, where they're like 8-1 in the last 2 seasons and back-to-backs is still going. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. And that is also on the back of Mikko Koskinen, who anybody that was out there criticizing him after last night, getting not so much help from the defense last night, comes in tonight, makes some 5-alarm saves, and then goes out and just shuts it down the rest of the way home in a huge victory for this Edmonton Oilers club. Now, this is the game a lot of us had hoped for yesterday. This is not the game we expected to see potentially today based on what you saw yesterday, but seeing it today, let me tell you, that's all right. And I will tell you one thing. If you're wondering, Tyson, where was the stream this evening? And this is to everybody that has followed Dolynny TV. If you don't follow Dolynny TV, maybe it's now your time to consider hitting that subscribe button over the next 10 minutes if you could. That'd be great. But you know what? This is to you guys that have stuck around for a while and stick with me through thick and thin. I watched the game with the family I'm living with. All right? And you know what? Fantastic to just sit down and enjoy a hockey game with people, because you know what I haven't done in almost a year? I think the last time I watched a hockey game on TV with my family was probably last January or February. Yeah, not even during the playoffs, because I was streaming with you guys. This was awesome to watch. This was I'm going to describe it this way, and it's going to sound stupid, but it is an exact perfect definition of this hockey game between the Oilers and Canucks that results in the 5-2 win for the Oilers. This was as dominating of a gutsy, ugly win as it could possibly get for the Edmonton Oilers. You want to talk about ozone time? I think the stats towards the end of the game, the Canucks had the puck about 3 minutes more in the ozone throughout the game than the Oilers did. They still finish with 6 less shots than the Oilers did. You want to talk possession time. The Canucks outpossessed the Oilers. Every stat, fancy number you can come up with that they throw at you, whether it be Fenwick, Corsi, all those things, gar, war, wala, words that don't make any sense because they're acronyms. Well, guess what? You know what? The Oilers, despite all that, they got it done. Why? It was the Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl show. Oh, don't forget Kailer Yamamoto, Mikko Koskinen, and a guy named Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who we have to absolutely get signed soon here, because my goodness, that value just keeps going up, up, up to start this season out of our top guys. Nice to see, that's for sure. So ladies and gentlemen, unlike last night where I had to debrief everybody coming off of a terrible game, let's get to it. Connor McDavid, well, the show started early for him. Almost 8 minutes into the hockey game, McDavid gets a pass up to Draisaitl, who rifles a shot on the power play. Nuge bangs it home back door, a pass to sprawling Demko, and yeah, that's his first of the year, and it just also so happens to be the Oilers' first power play goal of the season. Then Connor McDavid, with 1 second on the clock, from Kailer Yamamoto and Leon Draisaitl off of a set play face-off win by Leon Draisaitl. Yamamoto rips the shot, his first assist of the season, but also his second point of the season. We'll get to why that's important in mere moments. But Connor McDavid with that just perfect shot, and I mean, design play, and you like to see those out of the Oilers. When they've got top players on the ice combining to do things, you love to see them get it going. So this was, like I said, a dominating win, but we'll get to why it was gutsy in a moment when we get to the actual stats of the game. The Canucks, they still played hockey. You know what? They scored 2 goals, all right? And you know what? I wasn't giving them credit last night because the Oilers gift-wrapped them the game last night. Tonight, you know what? The Canucks made the Oilers earn it. It's a 5-2 victory, and normally in a 5-2 victory, you don't go out there and earn it. But the Oilers had to earn this one all the way. And Nate Schmidt, he did part of that, making it a 2-1 game on a seeing eye shot, just a perfectly placed shot. And everybody was losing their mind. Oh, the Oilers' defense is so terrible. If you're sitting here telling me that the Oilers' defense was terrible on the Nate Schmidt goal, you can take a hike. Straight up, take a hike, because that is ridiculous. That was a perfectly placed shot by an elite defenseman that the Canucks went out and took advantage of Vegas to get. Okay, that's fair. Now, Connor McDavid, let's get back to that show for a moment on the power play. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about almost hitting my head on the ceiling when I got off the couch to celebrate that goal. There were some words said. It was a little bit crazy in the house when I got that one going. Connor McDavid from Leon Draisaitl, and oh yeah, Tyson's fantasy team's doing all right, because not only did Connor McDavid score a goal, get a power play point, Tyson Barrie got an assist and a power play point. And yeah, it was an all right night on the fantasy here for me, even though my team fully wasn't in action due to a couple of guys having games postponed, i.e. I might have taken some Dallas Stars, betting on some guys to get me some hits along the way. Now, again, the Canucks didn't go away. They made it 3-2. Tyler Mott, perfect shot pass tip by Travis Hamonic. What's the book on the Oilers? Beat him on the tip play. Did it work? It did, but didn't work to fruition for a win for the Vancouver Canucks tonight, or even an overtime loss like the Calgary Flames got out of the Winnipeg Jets. Quinn Hughes, by the way, gets an assist, which, I mean, normally I'm sitting here saying Cale Makar is better than Quinn Hughes, but this season got something a little bit invested in Quinn Hughes, as he's my stud on the blue line for my fantasy team. So Quinn Hughes, you just keep quietly doing that against other teams for a little while now, all right? 1-1 the Oilers against the Canucks so far this year. The dream to go 9-1 is still alive. Oh, look at that. Tyson gets one win, and that confidence is right back. My secret success recipe on YouTube is I'm crazy, and trust me, buckle up. It's only going to get better from here. All right, fair enough. I think that is fair enough. Let's get back to the Connor McDavid show. Oh, geez, I'm sure saying that a lot this evening. Well, let's get back to it, shall we? McDavid scores a Hatty. I haven't said that at all. I didn't want to ruin the surprise. Yes, sirree. Bing, bang, boom. Connor McDavid, he did indeed score a hat trick this evening for the Edmonton Oilers. Leon Draisaitl from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who, oh, by the way, had himself a 3-point night. McDavid a 4-point night. Draisaitl a 4-point night. And how about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins a 3-point night? Oh, and oh yeah, guess who got the assist on that Nugent-Hopkins tippity-tap goal? Well, it just so happens to be Kyler Yamamoto, who scores 2 points tonight, scored a point last game. So since December 31st, 2019, Kyler Yamamoto is a point per game at the NHL level. Officially, not like 0.95, point. All right, 1 point per game. Kyler Yamamoto. The shots 46-40. The hits 37-24. By the way, Jujhar Khaira and Antoine Roussel had a little bit of nasties going on there. Got 10-minute misconducts with like 6:59 to go in the third period. They saw the door. I think there would probably be some pretty happy Oilers fans to see Jujhar get the door early in, late goings of that third period. I don't know, but everybody's saying blast him to the moon at this point, so I guess that's as best as he can get mid-game. The penalty minutes, 20 for the Oilers, 18 for the Canucks. So the Oilers, well, they took 5 penalties tonight, 0 for 5 on the power play, where the Vancouver Canucks, hey, Riley Sheahan wasn't the key to success on the PK. Looking at this tonight, let me tell you. And how about this? The giveaways, takeaways, pretty much dead even. The Canucks had 11-8 takeaways. The Oilers had 12-11 giveaways. That's numbers that really, at the end of the day, don't matter too much, especially when you look at the scoreboard. The Canucks will face off the Oilers 30-26. It was looking pretty ugly there for a while, so 30-26, not too bad. But let's get to it. I'm going to get serious with you here right now. I'm going to get uptight. All right, eyes on. Let's get this going. You want to talk about something that was gutsy about this Oilers team? How about the blocked shots tonight? How many blocked shots, Tyson? 29 block shots. Like I said, the Canucks made the Oilers earn it, and it was a dominating performance of the Oilers. Don't kid yourself. That top line of Nuge, McDavid, and Kassian, they had moments where they were absolutely untouchable in the first and second period. The power play was great and dominating. Everything about the Oilers game in the offensive zone was dominating, but guess what? The shot blocking as well was just as dominant, but unfortunately, that's not how you talk about shot blocking in the NHL. You talk about it being gutsy, and you want to talk about my family, who are not avid NHL fans like me, all right? My family that I've got living with, they don't sit down as soon as the game gets on, and that is all they do for the next few hours. No, that's me. I kind of picked that up. Actually, I'm lying. I have family that watch the Flames game, but we don't like to talk about them as much, all right? We don't want to encourage those bad habits, right? Cheering for the Flames, that's a little bit of a no-go, but I'll still go to the Saddle Dome with them to enjoy a Battle of Alberta. Why wouldn't I? Anyway, we talk about shot blocking as a gutsy thing in the NHL, and when my family's sitting there just absolutely blown away that guys are diving, throwing their legs, throwing their arms, doing whatever they can to block a shot, you know what? That goes to show just how hard the Oilers work tonight. If you're impressing fans that don't go out there and watch every second of the Oilers like I try to every year, you know what? That means something after a performance like we witnessed last night. And ladies and gentlemen, if you cannot admire the gutsy, dominant, earned victory out of the Oilers tonight, I don't know what you can say. And oh my goodness, did I actually just credit the Vancouver Canucks with a good game? I couldn't have. But this one, on the back of Mikko Koskinen, a hat trick and a dominant performance from Connor McDavid, and of course a 4-assist game from Leon Draisaitl, 3 points from Nuge, and of course 2 points from Kyler Yamamoto. Gets the job done. The Oilers are 1-1, and oh, what's that? Hold on, I can't hear you. Oh, yeah, that 4-point game that everybody was complaining about last night, all of a sudden is totally moot. Ladies and gentlemen, we're right back where we started. Yeah, there's some points divvied up, but guess what? The Oilers, as far as I understand it, unless something crazy in the NHL happened tonight where some teams that weren't played, guess what those standings say? Oh, from that terrible start, the Oilers, with 8 goals for to start the season, that's one more than the Canucks. The Oilers are alone in first place on goal differential. Oh my goodness, it took me 2 games to start yelling about the Oilers being in first place. Go have yourself a great night. I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.